right, so here's some of the forms I use. These are like discovery type call forms here. So I'll fill in their name, email, mobile, their LinkedIn profile. I use this as a guide on the call. So I'm sitting in front of my computer on a discovery call. It's all by phone, so they can't even see this. But I'll start asking them, like the first question is, what was it that motivated you to take time out of your busy schedule to meet with me today? And they'll tell me. What was it that brought you into this industry? What are you currently doing to bring in leads or referrals to your business? I go through this whole thing. And obviously, when I get down to the bottom, I just hit the submit button and all that information goes into Go High Level. So that's a cool thing. I also use this one here. It's a little bit different than this one. I'm testing this one against this one. This one's a little bit shorter, but it seems to be doing the same job and seems to be doing good for me. So the cool thing is you're always ready. You pull one of these up, you're ready to go. You can start filling in blanks and take notes as you go. Now, if the customer can hear the pecking of the keyboard, I just explain to them, hey, I'm not multitasking. I'm just taking in all the information you're giving me because I don't want to forget anything important that's important to you, especially anything that's going to save you time and money. They love that. They know that I'm thinking about them. Here's another thing that I do. I developed this thing. It's called the SAAS and Agency Stats and Sales Tracker. And what I do is I keep track of this is done on Google Sheets, keep track of my LinkedIn invites, emails, cold mails. Now, right now, all I'm doing is LinkedIn invites. I might go to emailing someday. I don't think I'll ever go to cold calling. I'll probably do Facebook Lives, but I keep track of my discovery calls, demo calls, SaaS sales, and agency sales. And then so the red part is like the prospecting. This here, the yellow is engagement. Green is the sales, and blue is the fulfillment. And then I put the dates over here, and this is just a Google Sheets. And so everything gets tallied down here automatically as I fill out numbers, how many SaaS sales, how many agency sales, it all gets tallied. So whenever I pull up this sheet, I always know. And down here, they'll say, well, how many more LinkedIn invites have I got to go this month to reach my goal? And how many discovery calls and how many demo calls, am I going to, is my goal. So I set my goal at 10 a week for demo calls, 10 a week. So that's 40 over the month. And I also set discovery calls at 10 a week, but that really should be more like 15 to 20. They're easier to get to. They don't take nearly as much time, and you can do a lot more. I've done as much as 8 of them in one day with 5 demo calls in one day. So, and book some more on top of that in between all the things that were going. Now, the cool thing about this is it motivates you. If you find like you're lagging, you're starting to fall behind in a certain area, you start putting more attention in this because it's just like losing weight. It's not necessarily so much, like I want to lose 10 pounds. It's like, well, what do you need to lose 10 pounds? Well, I need to get on my fitness app and I need to program in everything I'm eating that day, and it'll automatically count the calories, and then you'll know if you're going to drop weight. So if you're keeping track of all your stats here, you will make sales and you will reach your goals. It's that simple. So you have to do the things that are going to get you the sales that you want to make. And then this is what I would say. The market right now is hot. It has a need for your solution. You work with business owners, a lot of them, let's be honest here, they know how to do email. That's about it. A lot of them don't know how to market themselves. They're not real super tech savvy. Some of them are. I realize there's exceptions, and even in mortgage loan officers who I serve, there's only a few tech savvy ones in there that like to get in, geek out. Most of them are like, holy cow. So we had to simplify everything as much as possible so that they wouldn't become overwhelmed. And that's one thing I would suggest in closing here, is to make everything as simple as possible. And the number one thing that they want sales. And how are you going to get them those sales for them? And if you're not a GHL customer, I would encourage you to become one. This company is amazing. They're doing everything they can to help us be successful with innovation and a very reasonable price. If you're already a customer, you probably agree with what I just said. And lastly, if you know what you're doing, you're gonna win. I mean, it's just a matter of talking to enough people. And I read this book. It's called Go for No, not too long ago. And even if you don't consider yourself the best salesperson in the world, let's say that you came into this and you're like the worst salesman ever. According to this book, there was a test that was done where they sent out some people. Some were good salespeople, some were not so good. But one was just like, you know, it's kind of like the little Boy Scout, Girl Scout cookie thing, you know, like, hey, want to buy some cookies? Right? And that's your pitch. And it's so easy to say no to that. But you know, if you just went out with that simple pitch over and over and over enough times, you will make sales no matter how bad your pitch is. So think about how you can improve it. And one of the things I do is I'm listening to my customers. I'm listening to what they say no to, what they respond to, what they object to. And then I adjust my presentation going forward. And in the last 3 months, I've overhauled my presentation 3 times. The first time it looked like to be honest with you, it looked like a timeshare presentation. It was long. It was really spammy like. It was full of the BS meter was just like, just going wild. And I said, you know what? This is not working. So I changed it. And then I just recently changed it again because the second one I had too much text in it. And then the third one is working really, really well because there's a lot more graphics and pictures in it. And then we just have a conversation. It's not really like pitching. We're having a conversation. At the basics is, here's what I've got. Here's what it'll do for you. Do you want to buy it? And that's basically what your pitch is. And that's how I've found that, you know, really works well for me.